What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got Tim Elliott doubling down on glove grabbing, Kamaru Usman's message to Leon Edwards, Henry Cejudo on Conor McGregor's future, and much more. Kamaru Usman tells Leon Edwards to get ready to grapple. A sarcastic Kamaru Usman is telling Leon Edwards that they will 100% be wrestling whenever they meet in the octagon for the UFC welterweight title. Usman made the remarks in jest, sarcastically saying he's not going to be striking at all against Edwards after Rocky made comments about the champion's strengths and weaknesses. Let's backtrack a bit, as UFC President Dana White has stated previously that Edwards would be next in line for a welterweight title shot against Usman. Edwards has won 9 of his last 10 fights, won no contest, and all of this since he last met Usman back in 2015. When Kamaru took a unanimous decision victory. Still, Edwards has been clamoring for a title shot and is finally going to step in there with the champion sometime later this year after Usman's broken hand heals up. But the champ could be criticized for looking past Edwards a bit, as he's called out pro boxing champion Canelo Alvarez and said he wanted to challenge him in September on Mexican Independence Day. While Canelo himself said that this is a possibility, it's unclear if this will take place. First up for Usman is Edwards, who recently said that Kamaru is falling in love with his hands but believes that this title fight, whenever it happens, would have Usman skittish to use his hands given Edwards' striking prowess, and that he sees this more as a striker versus wrestler type of fight. Usman, during an interview with MMA Junkie, responded with this.
Yeah, he said that if I step in there with him, I won't be striking the way that I am now. So I will oblige. I give it to you. I will not strike. I am coming in to wrestle. I'm going to take him down. I'm going to beat on his face until he quits. So don't expect me to strike at all. No. I'm going to wrestle. Don't expect me to strike, Leon.
Usman has been wreaking havoc with his hands on fighters, finishing Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal, and Gilbert Burns. But what do you make of Usman's comments here concerning Rocky? Ben Askren to Jorge Masvidal. You had 25 minutes. With the rivalry and bad blood between Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington on full display in the lead-up to the UFC 272 main event, many people believed the fight would go Jorge's way, or at least be a much more competitive affair. However, what we got was anything but. Colby won in pretty convincing fashion, out-wrestling Masvidal at every turn and wearing game bread out to nullify his elite striking. Though Masvidal did wobble Colby at one point, it was a brief moment that he simply didn't capitalize on. But even after the closing bell, he still wanted more of Colby. This is evidenced by this video posted by the UFC on Twitter. Well, Ben Askren, another nemesis of Masvidal, took issue with Game Bread's chirping after the fight, given how the entire 5 rounds played out, with Colby essentially dominating him for the better part of 25 minutes. This is what Askren said about that during a recent appearance on the MMA Hour.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I get annoyed about is like George wants to fight him after the fight. And it's like, listen, you just had 25 minutes to do like almost anything you want. Like you can't eye gouge and bite, and you know we got a couple rules, right? But not a lot. So you can do whatever you wanted for 25 minutes, and now you're gonna act like you want more. Like just, hey, you had 25 minutes, freaking do it to him.
Askren is a bona fide wrestler who had a lot of success in MMA utilizing his biggest asset, but ultimately was stopped by Game Bread in impressive fashion back in 2019 with a 5-second knockout. But in this fight, Askren says it went exactly how he thought it would, with Colby utilizing his elite style wrestling to drown Masvidal in the fight. What do you think of Askren's comments here? Henry Cejudo says Conor McGregor is around the wrong people and will not improve. There's been a lot of trash talk between Henry Cejudo and Conor McGregor in recent weeks, mostly on account of Cejudo poking fun at the Irishman whenever there's some hoopla. With McGregor still nursing a broken leg and looking to get back in the octagon this summer, there's been talk about how there's a possible path to the lightweight title for him, especially after champion Charles Oliveira in December stated that he wanted big money fights and welcomed the chance to fight someone of McGregor's stature. The problem is, McGregor only tasted victory once out of his previous 4 fights dating back to 2018. The former lightweight champion is also on a 2-fight losing skid to lightweight title challenger Dustin Poirier. But this is the fight business, and anything can happen. But if you ask Cejudo, he believes that the era of McGregor is over, and he shared the reason why on a recent episode of the Triple C and Schmo Show on YouTube.
He was able to use his hands, but I think once people realized that that front leg is there, people started chewing that thing up. I do believe Conor McGregor is good in certain areas, but I think he's so stubborn. He's around yes men that he won't get better because he's stuck in his own fame.
Cejudo goes on to say that he believes McGregor should just fight Jake Paul in a boxing match or MMA fight, and that they're meant for each other. What do you make of Cejudo's comments about Conor? Don't forget to take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all of the latest fight news. Khamzat Chimaev responds to his fight critics. Did you know that in all 4 of his UFC fights so far, statisticians say Khamzat Chimaev has only absorbed 1 significant strike? That's an incredible stat line if true, and it only adds to the hype that the Russian Swede is riding at the moment, as he's become arguably the most exciting prospect in the entire world of MMA today. He's put away all 10 of his career opponents inside of 2 rounds, including all 4 of his UFC opponents, one of whom with just 1 punch. He's also fought in 2 different weight classes just 10 days apart in 2020. This is why he's already fighting the number 2 ranked welterweight in the UFC in Gilbert Burns, a former title challenger whom many believe is able to make another run at the title. The 2 are set to meet at UFC 273 in April. Still, there have been critics of Chimaev who say that he hasn't fought enough top-tier opponents to warrant this kind of momentum and even talk of a potential title challenge. To those people, Chimaev says this.
The guys who faced the guy John Jones, his first 4 fights in UFC, he get the punch. I didn't get the punch. We don't say his first fights he didn't get the best ones. The guys, like super good guys. Nobody.
Chimaev believes he's being unfairly criticized for the caliber of opponents he's been able to finish, when others, like Jon Jones and Conor McGregor, who he later mentioned, did not get this kind of criticism during their first 4 fights. Chimaev is a specimen of a fighter. There's no doubting that. And the fact that he's never seen the 3rd round in any of his fights is a testament to his skills and fighting prowess. He's also not in charge of the matchmaking, though he had called out all kinds of fighters on social media, including Brock Lesnar, over the last year. Still, what do you think of Chimaev's response to his critics? And who do you think will win in the fight between Burns and Khamzat? Tim Elliott on glove grabbing. I'm a fighter and this is my job. Some people took issue with UFC veteran Tim Elliott grabbing the glove of his opponent Tagir Ulanbekov during their UFC 272 fight over a week ago. The bout ultimately went Elliott's way as he took a unanimous decision victory over him after 3 hard-fought rounds. During the fight, Elliott also received a warning for eye gouging, and there was also a question of whether he delivered a knee strike to his opponent while he was down, though this could be debated given that Tagir was getting up at the same time. Still, Elliott, after the fight, was unapologetic to the media about the whole entire thing, saying that it's the referee's job to watch out for everything, and that his job is to win. He doubled down on those remarks in a recent appearance of the We Got Next podcast and said this.
Was saying all kinds of he never, I think he told me don't let go of the glove. I let go of the glove. But for me, it's not that big of a deal. I'm in there fist fighting and people are going on and on about the morality of the sport and the warrior spirit and all that. But I don't care. Like, I'm not a martial artist. I'm a fighter and this is my job and I'm trying to make money at this job. And that's what I did on Saturday. So
what do you make of Tim Elliott's words here? Today's video was packed with some juicy stories from the fight world. What are your thoughts about what's going on in MMA? Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos just like this. See you next time.